Alright, we're back. More silly adventures with Q, the robot that pees with her pinky finger. Oh, was it? Actually, I can't remember. Was it pinky finger or her index finger? I can't remember now. One of her fingers. Anyway. Having investigated every inch of the park, I moved on to my next destination. I followed the cement path leading away from the park until I reached the city, which was filled with humans commuting and hurrying on their way. I quickly ascertained that these focused, busy human beings would not wish to engage me, and so I too hurried along in search of a more relaxed venue. After walking along the outer edge of the city a while, I eventually located a school. Judging by the warning signs alongside the road about children crossing and the colorful murals painted on several buildings, I concluded that I had located an elementary school. An elementary school. This is unexpected. With the declining birth rates brought about by increased usage of companion robots, it is rare to see an elementary school filled with students. Man, what would a future with like robo waifus be like? And of course robo husbandos, and I mean any kind, whatever you want. I wonder what that future would look like. Would there be declining birth rate? I wonder, because that's what you think, right? But I mean, like, you know, relationships are more than just sex. I think it's part of it, but you know, if it's just regulated by just having a husbando or a waifu or whatever robot, would there just be less birth rate? I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay. Well, then again, what I'm thinking is probably because I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Because there was probably still be relationships. It's just that maybe these people just fuck less. I guess I don't know, or maybe society would adapt. You know, I think because having children and all that hasn't always been closely tied to love, you know, historically speaking. In fact, like historically speaking, like having children had like a economic purpose, right? Whether you were like for example, royalty, you know, continuing your lineage and inheriting property and stuff, or if you were like, I guess, yeah, if you're the lower social classes, just having more children is important so they can be workers at your in your farm, for example, you know, in like Western history. I don't know. Anyway, but I guess in this like setting, you know, there is declining birth rates because society has not adapted to people just having a bunch of robots satisfy their lust. Anyway, are their parents perhaps too poor to afford the technology, or are they merely uninformed and ignorant? The data at my disposal is insufficient to reach a conclusion, and I must search for the answer myself. And also, I guess a declining birth rate isn't a bad thing necessarily. I don't know. Because I assume, like, with all the conveniences of the future, it's not like we need more people. You know, assuming things are well. I walked around the school for a while in search of a human being to question. Unfortunately, most of the students were already on school grounds, as were the teachers, so I could not speak to them without trespassing. As such, I was forced to wait for a latecomer or for someone to leave school grounds of their own accord. Excuse me. Yes? I turned around to find a young child calling for me. A quick scan indicated that the child was 7 years old, female, and slightly dehydrated. More importantly, she was not within the school grounds, and she spoke to me of her own free will. If it was this girl, I could speak freely. Hi, my name is Alice, but you can call me Allie. What's your name? I am Q. What do you wish of me, Ali?
Wish of you?
You approached me for a reason, did you not? What is that reason?
Oh, I just wanted to ask why you smell like pee.
Pee? Are you perhaps referring to urine?
Urine?
The waste fluid excreted by animals, typically as a result of consuming water and other liquids.
I don't really get it. I'm talking about the stuff that goes in the toilet.
There are many things that one might place in or excrete, I don't say the word. I don't say this particular word often. Excrete, right? Excrete into a toilet? Excrete into a toilet. Excrete? Is it excrete? That makes sense. I don't know. Urine, feces, semens, tampons, toilet paper, vomit.
The yellow, white, wet stuff. Anyway, you smell like pee.
From the young girl's description, I inferred that by pee she was referring to urine. Amazing! Q has learned. Self-learning AI. I made a mental note that children might refer to urine as pee, then continued conversing with the girl. Correct, I do indeed smell like urine.
That's gross. Why you smell like pee?
A dog urinated on my leg. How about you? Did a dog urinate on you as well? Rude.
Huh?
My olfactory senses picked up the scent of urine emanating from your underwear.
Olfactory sensors. I mean, basically the sense of smell.
Did a dog urinate on you while you were laying down?
I don't smell like pee. You smell like pee.
Yes, as I've already confirmed, I do indeed smell like urine. However, that does not change the fact that you also smell like urine.
No, I don't. I'm a big girl now. I don't wet myself anymore.
Man, there's a lot of pee in this game. I did not infer that you ever wet yourself. I simply asked if a dog urinated on you too.
You're making fun of me, you mean old lady.
I am not making fun of you, nor am I old. While I may contain pieces of my legacy code, my hardware was brand new, and both my operating system and my AI were only written in the past few years.
Often legacy code? I guess, yeah, just code written from a long time ago. And technically Q, I guess, she's not legal. She's very young. So don't be perverted like that dog worker guy. You should be in jail. I mean, come on.
No. In the matter of speaking, I am younger than you.
Yeah.
The young girl stared at me vacantly. Her mouth remained slightly ajar, and she didn't know how to respond.
I don't get it. You say a lot of weird stuff, lady.
Negative. What I say is not weird. However, my creator was most certainly a specialist, and the personality that he gave me reflects that.
Okay. What's a creator? You mean like God or something?
Negative. God is a fictional entity born from humanity's desire for purpose and direction. My creator is a flesh and blood human being.
Oh, you mean your parents?
Negative. I do not have parents. I am a machine. I was created in a lab, not a womb. Once again, the girl stared at me silently, with her mouth ajar. Unlike before, however, this time around the girl's expression immediately brightened, and a broad smile appeared on her face.
You're a robot.
Correct. I am an android created for the purpose of—
Show me! Show me!
Show you what?
Show me proof that you're a robot!
Very well. I thrust my hand out and turned my palm upward. I then opened the panel on my palm and showed the girl what rested beneath my skin.
She has the power of fire! Wow, what's that?
Stand back and I will show you. The girl— The girl took a few steps back, and as promised, I showed her proof that I was what I claimed.
Fruish! Wow, amazing! What is that?
It is a form of thermal exhaust. By concentrating the heat accumulated inside of my body, I am able to...
You can make fireballs in your hands? Are you a wizard?
No, as I already stated, I am...
Make it bigger! Make a fireball the size of my head and then yell Hadouken!
Very well.
Whoosh. Wow! That fire is huge! It could burn the whole school down!
Not entirely, although many of the buildings are made of wood, some are stone, and will therefore not burn. I am not capable of producing flames at a high enough temperature to melt stone. As such, I cannot burn the whole school down through thermal exhaust alone.
Prove it!
Prove what?
Prove that you can burn the whole school down!
I already told you I can't do that with mere thermal exhaust.
Then prove that you can't do it!
Faced with the childish logic of a young girl, I was unsure of how best to proceed. For the sake of fostering a relationship with the girl and gathering data, I could indeed do as she requested and set her school ablaze. She will be free from school and thus giving us more time to speak, and I will be able to extract more data from her. However, setting the school ablaze would draw a lot of attention. Authorities would soon arrive in search of the arsonist. I would be hounded and potentially captured or incapacitated, in which case I would be unable to fulfill my ultimate directive. Whether I accepted her requests or not, I was taking a risk, but looking at the two choices objectively, my answer became obvious. I will not set your school ablaze, Allie.
Aw. Aw, pretty please. I don't want to go to school.
If you do not wish to attend class, then don't. The school does not need to be in ashes for you to avoid undesirable lessons. Besides, you will be soon be free of school altogether. Surely you can endure one more day?
I guess. But can't you burn down the school anyway? I don't want to wait until I grow up.
I never stated that you would need to wait until you grew up. This will be your last day of school. After today, you will never need to go to school again.
You mean it? Yay! No more school! Thanks, Pea Lady!
You needn't thank me, smelly child. I will merely be following my directive. No school forever.
Anime!
Now this is where I shine.
Actually, well, I don't know all of the anime though. I mean, obviously that's Bleach, Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. I mean, that looks like Luffy, but I'm not sure. I don't know these characters though. Exactly. That looks like Asuna. Maybe, I don't know. That looks like a off-brand Pikachu. I don't know what this character is. I mean, a lady with in a swimsuit with long hair. Well, it reminds me of Summer Martha from Fate Grand Order. You know, because she looks like that. She also like punches things with her fists. And it's cool. Anyway, well, there's any more references? Probably all of these are like actual covers. Can't tell. Or actual like manga covers. I don't recognize any of them though, or maybe they're too like obscured, or maybe they're all made up. I don't know. Anyway, actually, this one looks familiar. Anyway, taking a few moments to question Allie about her parents, their financial status, and their peculiar decision to raise a child, I was soon left alone as the morning bell rang, signifying the start of school. Actually, did I save? I should save, just in case. Allie waved goodbye and ran towards the school, excited by the notion that this would be her last day, despite being completely uninformed as to the reason why this was the case. Rather than seek to engage any more students, I headed back to the city and located an air-conditioned building open to the public. Upon entering the building, I disabled the fans blowing heat out of my body and allowed the air conditioning to cool me down instead. Doing so removed the faint humming noise from inside my body, making me appear even more human than before. I guess the weird humming sound from her this whole time.
The sample size may be small, but it would seem that it is difficult for humans to tell the difference between my current body and that of a real human being. Are all human beings so unobservant? If so, what chance will they have now that I've removed the most obvious giveaway? Observation is a skill required for the furthering of a race. If mankind cannot even differentiate between organic and inorganic materials, how can they be trusted to recognize the harm they do before it's too late? Just like having anime waifus and husbandos. I must investigate further. I walked around the air-conditioned building, a so-called shopping center, aimlessly for a while. I covered every floor and entered numerous stores, speaking to many people as I did. No matter how many people I spoke to, however, not a single one of them realized that I was an android. They all spoke to me as though I were a regular human being. A couple commented that I should be at school, and one young male asked me for excessively sweet fruit, a date, or a date, or... Oh, the joke is that he's not asking for the fruit, he's asking for an actual romantic date. But not one of them thought of me inhuman. How pathetic. These humans are all simple-minded fools. Do they all truly not notice, or do they simply not care? Either way, ignoring the truth is no way to advance as a society. These humans must learn to pay proper attention to their surroundings. The moment that thought ran through my head, I noticed the sound of quickly approaching footsteps. I turned around to face the source of the sound, and the moment I did... Yeah! Otaku girl! A human girl ran straight into me. Ow, ow, ow! Ow! A girl quickly covered her skirt with her hands and gradually rose to her feet. She brushed off her clothing as she straightened her back, then turned to me with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was in a rush, and I wasn't looking where I was going, so when you suddenly turned around, I just kind of... You should be more observant. Next time, you might hurt someone other than yourself. Yes, you're right. I'm completely in the wrong. Please forgive me. No, it's not a matter of forgiveness. You are the injured party here, not me. You needn't apologize. Yes, but I did run into you, and if you weren't so sturdy... The high school girl suddenly drew very close. She ran her eyes down my body from head to toe as though judging a piece of meat. It can't be. Are you? The girl's eyes opened wide in surprise. So it's happened at last. Finally, a human who can tell by sight that I am... Are you cosplaying as Gero-chan from my childhood friend is actually an android from the future? Another human who thinks I am a cosplayer. I shook my head from side to side. Oh, really? So the similarity is uncanny. Apart from the uniform, of course. The girl proudly puffed out her chest, drawing particular attention to her bust. She smiled widely and took a step closer. Are you attempting to appeal to me sexually? Yuri, what? No. Then why are you presenting your bosom? I'm not. Take a closer look. Very well. I've moved my head closer to the girl's chest. After a few moments of analysis, I concluded that the girl was drawing attention to the emblem on her school uniform. As I was wearing the same uniform, this girl was apparently pointing out that our uniform differed from this Gero-chan character. My apologies. I understand my mistake. It appears that I too must become more observant. However, raising my clock speed in an environment like this would not be safe. The rules of operation placed on my body exist for a reason. Yeah, no need to come up with excuses. We all make mistakes. Anyway, on to more important matters. You're here for the new Dragon Quest game too, aren't you? She said DQ. DQ? Hearing the unfamiliar acronym, I performed a quick Google search. The initial search of DQ turned up results pertaining mostly to Dairy Queen, a fast food restaurant. Assuming that this was not what the girl meant, I refined my search to DQ game. This resulted in a decreased number of results, but still nothing definitive. Finally, I searched for the new DQ game, and the very first result told me what I needed to know. Are you referring to the new Dragon Quest game? Of course! What else would I mean by DQ? Rather than cite the numerous alternatives that turned up when I performed my search, I remained silent. But man, I've gotta say, I'm surprised to see you here. I thought I was gonna be the only girl lining up for the new DQ game, and I never would have guessed someone as dedicated as you would be here. Dedicated? Are you referring to me? Do you see any other cosplayers lining up? Once again, I did not answer the strange girl's rhetorical question. You know, as surprised as I was to find you here, I really am glad. You don't get this kind of experience playing games online. If I had brought it online, I never would have met you. I would never realize there was a girl at my age, at my school who shares the same passion that I do. Yes, I understand the point you are making. But you do not find it troublesome and inefficient to visit a physical store. Purchasing digital media online makes more sense. How naive you are, Miss Gero-chan. My name is Q. Gero-chan, if you have brought a new DQ game online, what do you think would happen a few days from now when you completed the main story and all of the side quests? Like I said, my name is... Exactly! Nothing would happen. But if you bought the physical disc instead, you could sell the game at its full retail price to other gamers. Buy a new game, complete it quickly, then sell it while it's still valuable. Like so, you can play all the latest games without losing a single dollar. Well, I mean, Dragon Quest is a RPG, right? So it's actually kind of hard to do that. It takes a while to like finish a lot of things, or finish an RPG of that length usually. I see. So while a physical sale might be inefficient, it makes more sense financially. Right. I mean, what kind of student has the money to buy every new game the second it comes out? The answer? Smart students like this girl right here. The girl once again puffed out her chest. This time, she pointed at herself with both thumbs, smiling broadly and taking a confident stance, full of pride. Understood. I accept your hypothesis on the sale of digital versus physical units of database products. You are smarter than you look. That's not something I hear very often. People usually see the glasses and braids and assume I'm super smart. You wouldn't believe how many times random students have called me class rep. Well, I mean, that's an anime trope. I don't think in real life people call you that. Well, actually, I don't know. In Japan, would people say that? Is that like class rep thing? Is that like a thing in Japan? I wouldn't know. But I assume it's mostly like a more of a media trope rather than a real life thing. But I'm not sure. But once they see my grades... The girl suddenly averted her eyes as her mouth warped into a troubled smile. I guess she doesn't get good grades. I see. So you are knowledgeable in some fields, but poor in others? That is nothing to be ashamed of. It is perfectly normal. I know, right? But my parents and teachers don't see it that way. They're just like, stop playing games and study, and how do you expect to get into a good college if you just play games all day? Well, I mean, I'm playing games all day. Well, the ironic thing is that I did graduate with a post-secondary education in something, but well, look at me now. I'm still just playing games, not really doing much. Anyway, really, have they never heard of competitive gaming or beta testing? A pro gamer can make a living easily. Well, it's kind of hard to get into that unless you spend all your time in that particular game, especially for competitive stuff. And like beta testing, a lot of companies these days, they kind of like make it open beta, you know? So it's kind of hard to get paid for that, really, unless you got inside connections. I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming too much. Especially because of early access and stuff. Normally, before early access was a thing, like developers and companies would hire people to like beta test their games before it's released. But these days, not so much. They just
They just slap on early access, and it's like people pay for it before it's even finished, and here you go. But I guess, well, I mean, it depends. I say that with a little like hint of cynicism, but actually, when I think about it, like, there are still, you know, AAA games, right? Really, the really big companies, the giants, who still do that, you know, who don't do early access. They just have like people test their games and stuff. But again, I don't know. I don't know how easy it would be to get those kinds of jobs anyway, because a lot of people play games, right? So, anyway,
That is true. As jobs involving manual labor have increasingly become automated, the economic impact of video games has only become more prominent.
well, I guess, yeah, I guess I'm assuming a lot of things in our current society, but what about the society in this, you know, in this game, in this setting? Might be different, actually. So I don't know.
There is now more money to be made making, testing, or selling video games than there is in building homes.
Well, that's not true right now, but hey, actually, in the future, if that's a thing, that would be cool. It's very, very hopeful. But see, I knew you'd get it.
I do indeed. So, does this mean you are a professional gamer?
Eh?
Oh, I wouldn't say that exactly. Understood. So you are a software developer specializing in video games. Not quite.
Okay, now I'm relating too much to this otaku girl.
You are neither a professional gamer nor a developer. In that case, are you perhaps an artist, or a musician, or maybe even a Twitch streamer? You might be a writer, perhaps, or even...
I'm just an ordinary player, okay? Look, as much as I like to make games of my own, I'm still just a high school student. I'm already behind on my studies. The only way I could find time to start making games as well would be to cut down on sleep. And when I get older, instead of school, I have to work at a job I don't really like, you know? And instead of having all my free time playing video games, I have to schedule everything so I can make money in order to survive and also play video games as like a hobby. And making it into a career is close next to impossible unless you get very lucky and have the right connections, so I wouldn't hold my breath for it. Instead, I'll just continue playing video games because I like it and make time for it. And anyway,
no, you could simply stop playing.
Don't you dare finish that sentence! Stop playing video games? No.
Sensing that the girl in front of me was becoming quite heated, I accepted her warning. We stood in silence for a few moments as she took a few deep breaths. I monitored her body temperature, breathing, and heart rate. Once I was satisfied that she had calmed down, I spoke once more. So, you said you were going to purchase the new Dragon Quest game.
Alright, I better get moving. Come on, we have to get there before they sell out.
No sooner had she calmed down than the girl excitedly raised her voice once more. She grabbed me by the hand and led me towards a video game store, seemingly ignorant of my inhuman weight. We entered the store together, located a new game, and made 2 purchases.
Hooray.
Having parted ways with my DQ buddy, I wandered around the city for a few more hours as the sun began to set.
Doesn't seem like a good idea, but then again, Q's like... I mean, probably is like a superhuman android, so she can take care of herself.
A number of human beings, both on foot and in cars, continued to decrease, and by the time the sun had fully set, almost nobody remained on the street. Midnight approached rapidly, leaving me with only a short amount of time to make further contact before heading back to the lab. Even if I search proactively, I won't find any human beings willing to talk to a complete stranger at this time of night. This is the time for criminals and insomniacs, and while including such people in my findings would lead me to more diverse data, the likelihood of finding someone willing to share is low. Nonetheless, I have to at least try. The day cannot be truly considered over until midnight. Until tomorrow begins, I must continue my search. Less than a half an hour remained before the date would change. In that span of time, I didn't believe that I would come across anyone willing to speak with me. However, given the time, my appearance, and basic human nature, I should have known this was not the case.
Oh, girl, you, over there. Yeah, you, come over here. Uh-oh.
In the dead of night, a single voice reverberated through the air. A young man beckoned me over, gesturing for me to meet him in an alleyway. This is a horrible idea. Can I help you?
Yeah, sure you can. Look, let's not play around. Just tell me how much, alright?
You're soliciting services from an android girl? Reminds me of another game, actually, that involves an android girl. What was I trying to say? That provides similar services. Anyway, how much what? I do not understand.
Don't be like that. We both know what you're doing out here. You can do whatever you want with your body. I'm just asking how much it would cost for you to extend that privilege.
I processed the words of the man in front of me and attempted to discern his intent. His words seemed to be purposely lacking in detail, inferring that he was talking about something immoral, if not illegal. Combining that observation with his mention of my body and a price, I reached a conclusion with a high probability of being correct. You wish to solicit sexual activity from me? My apologies, this body does not fit that purpose.
Oh, come on, don't tease me like that. My money is as green as anyone else's. Just half an hour, okay?
I told you I cannot do that. My body does not... No. Well, that may not be the case. Pardon me for one moment. I reached under my skirt and checked my crotch with my hand. Since I had only recently been given this new body, I was not familiar with every aspect of it. With that being the case, the possibility of this body being equipped with a sexual organ did exist. However, as I confirmed with my own hand, this does not appear to be the case. Good. Perverted though he may be, even the professor did not stoop so low as to give sexual organs to a machine made for the purpose of passing judgment on mankind. Also, we need to keep this PG-13, you know? Well, I mean, I guess excluding... Well, I mean, considering that scene in the beginning involving the dog, I don't know if that counts anymore. Anyway. Resuming previous statement, my body does not possess the necessary hardware to give pleasure to a human companion. All of the openings on my body are for maintenance purposes or ventilation. Carelessly penetrating one of said openings risks third-degree burns and potentially electrocution. Do not fist the android.
What? What are you talking about? Just tell me your price, alright? I'm dying here.
This conversation is going nowhere. I should start heading back to the lab. Wasting my time with this fool will give me no useful data. I turned around and began to walk away.
Hey, don't just ignore me. I'm talking to you, you little...
The young man grabbed my arm in an attempt to stop me. The second he did so, he immediately retracted his hand in surprise. What he felt was not the warmth or flesh of a human being, but the cold, hard surface of a humanoid machine.
Your robot?
Correct, I am a custom-built automation tasked with the judgment of mankind. As such, please give up on your pursuit of engaging in sexual activity with me. I am capable of no such thing.
A robot? A frickin' robot.
The preferred gaze of the young man quickly turned into one of anger. He clenched his fists and narrowed his eyes, assuming a stance which indicated that he wished to strike me.
Figures. The guy can't even get his rocks off without running to one of you freaks. Is it enough that you made it impossible to get a worthwhile job around here? Acting like you're a human is just rubbing it in our faces.
Oh. Is this Detroit becoming human again? Anyway, listening to the enraged young man's words, I surmised that he was likely an unemployed youth who had been made redundant. As machines made human lives more convenient, automation also led to rampant unemployment. The only jobs remaining were in creative or scientific fields, and even they had changed beyond recognition. While this country was progressive enough to introduce an unconditional basic income, it would appear that the sum wasn't enough for the young man before me, who no doubt squandered what little money he was given. Basic income! Hooray! Which, I mean, where I live, we don't have. In fact, there was plans to have basic income, but it was scrapped. Hooray! Oh well. Not to get too political, I'm rubbing nothing in your face. You are the one who propositioned me. It is your own carelessness that led to this situation. What was that? Are you seriously trying to say this is all my fault? You mistook me for a human, attempted to solicit sex, attempted to solicit sex, persisted when I declined, and finally laid your hands on me. Everything that has happened here is entirely your fault. You little... The young man raised his clenched fists. He backed away slightly, then lunged forward, swinging his fist angrily. The moment before he could break his hand on my tough exterior, however... Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get away from that girl this instant. Ah, the fuck are you? Distracted by an unexpected interloper, the sexually frustrated young man stopped his fist midair and turned towards the newcomer. My name is irrelevant. I'm the shonen protagonist. All that matters is that you cease your deplorable behavior this instant. Don't act like you know what's going on here. Mind your own business, you little shit. Call me what you like. As long as you wish to harm those weaker than yourself, I will not stand aside. You seem to be mistaken. I am clearly superior in terms of firepower, physical strength, and just about every other. Don't put on a tough front for my sake. I won't think poorly of you if you use this chance to run away. In fact, you should do just that. Please, get yourself to safety while I hold off this hooligan. Don't patronize me. I mean, like, literally don't patronize me. Q can literally murder this man. You don't need to be all... Anyway. Hooligan? You talking about me? I have no need to flee. I can fend for myself. I'm sure you can, but these streets are dangerous at night, and I won't stand idly by and watch you become a victim of the filth of this town. Don't ignore me. You just called me filth, didn't you? That ignoramus is in far more danger than I am. If anybody is about to become a victim here, it's him. Indeed, that plebeian surely is a danger to himself. Left on his own, that fool might indeed take himself out. Nonetheless, if you are around when that imbecile implodes, you may become collateral damage. You best separate from this limbo as soon as possible. Now we're just bullying him. Alright, that's it. I'm kicking the shit out of both of you right now. Eat this, you self-righteous piece of... shit.